What's up, YouTubers? Alright, so today what I want to talk about is laser hair removal or laser hair reduction and my experience with it. So I'll tell you a little bit about it and then I'll go into what I've had done and my experience overall so far. So about laser hair removal, it is going to take a few treatments, several treatments. I would probably say at least 6 to 8 of them. It can be done on several body parts, underarms, back, bikini line, Brazilian, upper legs, lower legs. You could have it done on small areas such as like your toes, those sorts of things. So it's not really painful. Sometimes it can be a little bit. So back when I first had laser hair removal, that was a little more painful. It felt like someone was injecting a needle into every single hair follicle, and it was pretty miserable. So they have lasers out now that are a little more comfortable, and I'll go into that a little bit more in a little bit. So back to laser hair removal itself. So again, you're going to need several treatments. If you have light hair or blonde hair, so for example myself, I have lighter hair, so those lighter hairs, it's not going to work as well on. The way that laser hair removal works is there's actually a beam of light that goes into the hair follicle and it finds the pigment, so the darkness in the hair follicle, and that's how it damages the hair follicle to retard the growth of the hair. So the hair grows in 3 different cycles. You have the anagen phase, which is where the hair is actively growing, the catagen phase, which is right there in the middle, and then you have the telogen phase, and that's where the hair releases from the follicle and falls out. So for the laser hair removal to be effective, it does have to hit the hair follicle while it's still attached in the growth phase. So that's why you have to go for several different treatments, because your hair grows in cycles. Because if it all fell out, if it all was in the same cycle, then it would all fall out at the same time and we'd be bald. We wouldn't want that. So that's the reason for having to need several treatments. Again, it's not necessarily removal, it is reduction. It's not gonna be gone forever. You're probably gonna have to go for some touch-ups down the road. And for instance, I've recently had it done on my underarms. I have blonde hairs in there as well, so those hairs are going to continue to grow because there's no pigment for the beam to find, but they're blonde, so nobody really sees them unless you're really up close and personal, and nobody should be that close to my underarms. And then if you are on certain medications, that may be a contraindication. You may not be able to have it done. The biggest thing is Accutane. If you're on Accutane or you've been on Accutane within the last 6 months to a year, they're not going to be able to do the treatment on you. You would have to wait for that. Also, you can't be using any alpha hydroxy acids or retin-A's on those areas. You would definitely want to avoid certain things for a specified amount of time afterwards. So pre-care for laser hair removal is, if you've waxed, you've probably pulled out the hair follicle, so it's probably not the smartest idea to go waxing before you go in. You would want to shave the area so the hair follicles are still intact and you're actually damaging the hair follicle. You're also not going to want to use a chemical depilator beforehand, so no creams that are going to dissolve it. You want the skin to be in a healthy, like fully healed state to have it, so you don't cause further irritation, and you definitely want to avoid sun exposure before and after. If you're out and you tan, then your skin is going to be darker. It's going to be harder for the laser to determine what's actually the pigment in your hair and the pigment in your skin, so it may be less effective. Lasers have come out with advancements, so they do offer some treatments. You would definitely want to talk to a laser technician or someone who works in that field for more details about that. Post-care, again, you're going to want to stay out of the sun. The way that your skin works, you have several layers of the skin, and when you've had a laser hair removal and you've affected that, when you go out into the sun, you could cause a hyperpigmentation, so a darkening in that area just from the skin being over treated, I guess you could say. So you would definitely want to avoid going out into the sun. You don't want to further damage the area. You also would want to stay away from, again, the chemical depilators. You don't want to cause any irritation. I would avoid shaving for the next 2 days, and you definitely don't want to put anything like chemically strong on the area, just so you're not getting bumps. Originally, when I first had my treatment, I needed an ice pack afterwards. It was really painful, and it bothered me for a couple of days. Now that I've recently had the hair removal, I'm perfectly fine. I can just go about my day like normal. So first time I ever had laser hair removal was in 2010. I got a Groupon. I went for my underarms. So with buying a Groupon, the downside of it was the company went out of business before I got all of my treatments. So I only got 4 out of my 6 treatments. And it definitely was helpful, but all of the hair was not gone. But I did see a decrease in the amount of hair. So I waited several years before going and having it done again. The next one that I had again, I got on Groupon, and I had an extended bikini line. That was the most painful treatment I've ever had. And I definitely had to have ice packs on the area. That was like bringing tears to my eyes, painful. Especially the closer they get to the center, the more painful it is. So the darker the hair, the more pain as well, because again, that beam of light is really concentrated on the color. So the coarser hair as well, you're going to feel it more. You may smell like a burning sensation. It's kind of burning the hair follicle in essence. So that's pretty normal. I would say the pain is going to go away pretty quickly though. The third time that I had laser hair removal, I actually had it on my upper legs, and my hair is just far too fine and blondish on my legs for it to be effective. Like, I didn't see a difference at all, and I've had 6 treatments, so I definitely wouldn't recommend it for somebody who has light hair on those areas. You'd really want to take that into consideration because you don't want to waste your money. It can be pretty expensive. I've purchased all of mine through Groupon, so I got a really good deal on them. Most recently, I've had them done on my underarms and Brazilian. And I was pretty terrified to have the Brazilian part done because of the extended bikini line that I had done before. So I really waited. But I had gone initially for my underarms, and that laser was so different than the other ones that I had. It was basically painless on my underarms. So I figured, hey, I'll go ahead and give it a try. After only 1 treatment in my underarms, I saw a huge difference. I'm now through my 7th treatment, and I have like maybe 5 hairs that grow that are dark. So there's just a couple of things. I have 1 treatment left, and a few years down the line, I'll probably have to go back for some touch-ups, which is normal, but I am really satisfied with my results for my underarms so far. So after my 2nd underarm treatment, I decided, okay, let's go ahead and do the Brazilian. And it's not as bad as even the extended bikini line. Now, the closer you get to the special area, it's going to be a little more painful. But it's not bad the way that these lasers work. Instead of just doing 1 single follicle at a time, it suctions the whole area, so it's much quicker. For both my underarms and the Brazilian, my appointments are like 15 minutes long. It's so quick. One thing to keep in mind is you do have to have the area clean before you go in. So when you are having it done on your underarms, I recommend in the morning because you can't wear deodorant. You don't want to be walking around stinky all day. So I definitely think that with the advancements in lasers these days, it is worth it to go and have it done, especially if you can do a deal on it. There are different places have different lasers, so you definitely want to check into that. And also it depends on your technician's knowledge. If they don't know the right settings, you're not going to get the right results. I see Tia at Protea Medical Center. She is wonderful. She's very personable. She makes you feel comfortable because, you know, you're taking it all off for her basically. But very professional, makes you feel right at home, very knowledgeable about what she does, and I'm seeing great results. So go see Tia and let me know what you think, or tell me about your experience with laser hair removal. I'm sure that the other viewers would like to hear about it as well. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it, and subscribe. Have a great day.